The Boötes Void is the largest known supervoid in the universe, being over 330 million light years across, and it's almost entirely empty. A supervoid is a region of space with an unusually low number of galaxies in it, and the Boötes Void is the largest known supervoid ever discovered. Normally, a region this large would hold thousands of galaxies, but the Boötes Void only holds around 60 galaxies. Voids are strange because there's just so little in them. Scientists have theories on why they exist, from stuff like dark matter and the expansion of the universe, but others have more exotic theories like aliens, black holes, or even the heat death of the universe. But in truth, we don't know why the Boötes Void truly exists, and in this video we're going to start from the more reasonable explanations and theories and work our way towards the more exotic and weird theories. So firstly, the most widely accepted theory for why the Boötes Void exists is the dark matter theory. Dark matter is a form of matter that's invisible. It doesn't absorb or reflect light, but we do know it's there because of its gravitational effects on other stuff. And the idea is that over a really long time, dark matter has naturally clumped together in certain regions, attracting more dark matter and galaxies to it. These dense sort of webs of dark matter attract stuff towards them over a really long time, leaving behind these voids. The Boötes Void could just be one of these low density pockets left behind by dark matter and its strong gravity, dragging galaxies and stuff away from certain regions. Dark matter has a density, which means it has a gravity, and with its gravity it pulls towards itself more dark matter and more galaxies, which leave behind these voids. And the main reason that some scientists are kind of cautious about this theory is that we've never actually observed dark matter itself. We only ever see dark matter and its influences on other stuff. We've never observed it directly. But this theory is still the most widely accepted theory for why the Boötes Void exists. And then we're on to the hidden galaxy theory. This theory says that the galaxies are actually there, but we can't see them. Maybe these galaxies are too faint and we just can't see them, or maybe there's some sort of intergalactic like dust or gas cloud in the way, or perhaps the light from these galaxies for some reason has been redshifted or blue shifted so much that it isn't on the visible light spectrum, so we can't see it. This theory sounds reasonable until you realize that we would notice gravitational lensing caused by something blocking the Boötes Void. So if it really was red shifted or blue shifted to where we can't see the light, we still have instruments that can detect the light. If there really was something blocking the Boötes Void, we would probably notice it by now, but it is still an interesting theory nonetheless. Next is the dark energy or the antimatter theory. Dark energy is a mysterious force that causes the universe to expand. Antimatter is basically just the opposite of normal matter. Normal matter attracts stuff to it because of gravity. Antimatter is the opposite. It repels stuff away from it. This theory suggests that the Boötes Void has a high concentration of either of these, and that's why galaxies are being repelled away from it. And technically speaking, if this theory were true, then the Boötes Void actually wouldn't be empty. It would only seem empty, but it would actually have a lot of antimatter or dark energy. But the real problem with this theory is, why would dark energy or antimatter build up in a certain region like this? The whole point of dark energy and antimatter is that they repel or expand stuff away from them. So why would they concentrate in a certain region like this at all? And if it were concentrated, wouldn't every single galaxy be pushed out of it? Why is there still 60 galaxies in the Boötes Void? And now we're on to the uneven distribution theory. This theory is basically just cosmic luck. This theory says that in the early universe, energy wasn't evenly distributed. Some areas had more energy and some areas had less energy, which means that later on, the areas with the more energy had more matter, and the areas with less energy created less matter. The Boötes Void could just be one of those areas that was just unlucky. It didn't have a whole lot of energy, and it couldn't make a whole lot of galaxies. This doesn't involve any exotic substances or energies. It's just the roll of dice. This is probably the most normal theory because it doesn't rely on any strange forces that we can't see. It would just simply be luck. But now we're starting to move on to the more exotic and weird theories with the supermassive black hole theory. This theory claims that the Boötes Void isn't actually empty at all. What we see is just the event horizon of a supermassive black hole, millions of light years long, that's devoured all the galaxies in that area. Maybe the universe isn't actually a web of dark matter and galaxies, but it's actually just black holes so large that they've eaten up certain areas. The problem with this is that if there really was a supermassive black hole, we would definitely see it. A black hole to this size would create an extreme gravitational lensing, bending the light from behind the black hole, and nearby galaxies would show signs of being next to such a strong black hole. Black holes also tend to have an accretion disk around them, and this would especially be so after eating thousands of galaxies. You'd expect some sort of leftovers orbiting around it. And of course, it is possible that black holes on this large of a scale don't have an accretion disk. Maybe they do, just consume everything and leave no trace behind. But we've never seen a black hole this large, and we don't even know if they can really exist without just destroying the entire universe around it. And then there's the black hole swarm theory, which is very similar to the last theory, but instead of one supermassive black hole, it's millions or billions of smaller black holes scattered around the void. And their gravitational influence might be too small for us to detect right now. And the catch with this theory, though, is that with millions or billions of small black holes, they would surely collide and smash into each other, and we would be able to sense all the gravitational ripple effects from all these black hole collisions. And once again, with all these black holes, we would expect some sort of accretion disk or debris floating around them after devouring thousands of galaxies. These black hole theories are pretty cool, but we don't have the most evidence pointing to there actually being a giant black hole or millions of black holes. But now we are onto the alien destruction hypothesis. And this theory is as chilling as it is weirdly fascinating. It says that there's an alien civilization in there that's actually destroyed the thousands of galaxies in that region. And weirdly enough, the Boötes Void isn't the only void in the universe. There are other voids and super voids just like it. So would this be multiple alien civilizations destroying their regions, or one alien civilization destroying their region and then going to another, destroying it, and it's only one causing all the super voids? And the really scary part is that the Boötes Void is 700 million light years away. Meaning when we look at it, we're seeing it 700 million years in the past. And if this alien civilization had the power to destroy thousands of galaxies 700 million years ago, imagine how much more powerful they would be now. Maybe since then, they've been expanding their void, or maybe they've been marching towards us and we just haven't seen it yet. And the next theory is another alien theory, and it's called the alien masking hypothesis. So this time, the galaxies are still there, but they're being hidden or masked from us. The galaxies are hiding behind a supermassive object that's blocking the light from us. For whatever reason, the aliens in that region want to mask themselves or hide themselves, so they're using some sort of large, like, cosmic blanket to hide their presence. And the flaw with this is pretty obvious, because if you're gonna hide yourself from the rest of the universe, covering yourself with some sort of technology or blanket would actually make you stick out more. In an otherwise busy universe with so many galaxies and light, having an area where no light is only makes it stick out more. If the civilization is this smart enough to build something this large, then surely they'd realize that blocking the light would actually draw more attention to them. Personally, if I had to pick between the two alien theories, I'd probably pick the alien destruction hypothesis over this one, because it just seems way more plausible than the alien masking hypothesis. And now, the second to last theory is the glitch in the matrix theory. Some people believe that there's no logical or scientific reason that the Boötes Void should exist at all, so it must be some sort of glitch in the matrix. This would be the equivalent of a rendering bug in a video game, where a chunk or region of the map hasn't loaded in or won't be loaded in for some reason. There's not much more to talk about with this theory. There's not a whole lot of evidence for it being a glitch in the matrix. Some people just don't think the Boötes Void should exist at all, so it just must be some sort of rendering bug. And finally, the last and most complex theory, the localized entropy death theory. Entropy is the gradual decline of order in the universe. It's the slow march towards an equilibrium where no energy can be used to create or sustain a matter or a structure. In other words, it's the underlying process behind the heat death of the universe. The heat death of the universe is a super far future scenario where all the stars have burnt out, all the black holes have evaporated, and there's no usable energy left in the universe for anything to happen. If everywhere in the universe is the same temperature, then no events can happen and nothing can really start or be created anymore. Everything becomes just cold, dark, and static. But the disturbing twist is that the Boötes Void isn't just empty by chance. Instead, it could be a localized region where entropy has already hit its maximum. In this patch of space, energy has been equally distributed everywhere, so no new stars or planets or galaxies can be created, and all the old galaxies are just decaying away. The Boötes Void wouldn't just be empty, it would be totally dead. Everywhere in this region would be the same temperature, the same density, the same energy. When everything is equal, nothing can happen. When everything is equal, no new stars can form, no new galaxies can swirl together, and the Boötes Void might just be a region where this entropy has already started. The reason this theory is so terrifying is that entropy is generally believed to happen on a global scale, across everything at once. Instead, this wouldn't be everywhere at once, this would be a localized region starting and then spreading. The heat death is supposed to happen trillions upon trillions, unfathomably far into the future. But if it's already happening here in a small localized pocket, that would be very bad for the universe. If this theory is true, then entropy would happen far sooner than we thought possible. And the worst part about it all is that if this is true, then the entropy decline of the Boötes Void already happened 700 million years ago. Remember, the Boötes Void is 700 million light years away, which means that the light we're seeing is from 700 million years ago. That would mean that the heat death was already happening millions of years ago. Then imagine how bad it is right now. The entropy could already be moving at extreme speeds, and it could already be on its way here. And we would never know until it was finally here, after consuming everything else in its path. And long story short, if this region really is a localized entropy startup zone, then the end of the universe could be far, far sooner than we ever thought possible. This is far worse than any alien civilization destroying stuff or a supermassive black hole. But ultimately, the biggest question of them all is, why do any of these theories even matter at all? And ultimately, each one of these theories, even how absurd and crazy they are, they still challenge our understanding of the universe. You know, whether this is some tear in the fabric of space, or an alien civilization destroying everything, or maybe even the start of the heat death of the universe. Each theory forces us to confront how fragile our understanding is. And ultimately, that's the thing most people miss, is that at the end of the day, these are still just theories. No matter how scientific or terrifying or profound these theories are, we still don't know why the Boötes Void exists at all. And maybe that's the most terrifying part about the Boötes Void. Isn't the theories or the absurd explanations, but it's that we think we've mapped and explained the whole universe, but there's still regions of space that we just don't know. In the end, we don't know as much about the universe as we think we know about the universe. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd greatly appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I enjoyed making this video. So thanks for watching. Peace.